Okay, we left off on the bottom of 270 of the Triangle Factory fire. I'm going to back it up because it's important we start at the bottom of 270, so 271 will make sense. So let's back up to the bottom of 270, please. Follow along. People began to jump singly or in groups of 2 or 3, holding hands as they stepped out the windows. William G. Shepard, a reporter for the United Press, watched the shower of bodies in horror. Wait, 271. This is in italics. Why?
Because it was what the guy said.
Good. Here we go. I saw every feature of the tragedy visible from outside the building. I learned a new sound. Ugh, this is really bad. A more horrible sound than any description can picture. It was the sound of a speeding living body on a stone sidewalk. Thud, dead. Thud, dead. Thud, dead. Thud, dead. 62. Thud, dead. I call them that because the sound and the thought of death came to me each time at the same instant. Down came the bodies in a shower, burning, smoking, flaming bodies with the disheveled hair trailing upward. On the sidewalk lay heaps of broken bodies. A policeman later went about with tags, which he fastened with wires to the wrists of the dead girls. The flood of water from the fireman's hose that ran into the gutter was actually stained red with blood. This is uplifting. Here we go. Onlookers saw many dreadful sights, none more so than the end of a love affair. A young man appeared at a window. Gently he helped a young woman step onto the windowsill, held her away from the building, and let go. He helped another young woman onto the windowsill. Those of us who were looking saw her put her arms around him and kiss him, Shepard wrote. Then he held her out into space and dropped her. But quick as a flash, he was on the windowsill himself. He was brave enough to help the girl he loved to a quicker death after she had given him a goodbye kiss. Meanwhile, others managed to reach the fire escape. It had not been designed for a quick exit. FDNY, look down below so you know what it is. Experts later declared that those on the 3 top floors of the Ash building could not have made it to the ground in under 3 hours. In reality, they had only minutes. People crowded onto the fire escape, and as they walked single file, flames lapped at them through the broken windows. Worse, the human load became too heavy for the device to bear. Bolts that fastened it to the building became loose. It began to sway, then collapse at the 8th floor, tumbling dozens into the courtyard. As the fire-crazed victims were thrown by the collapse of the fire escape, several struck the sharp-tipped palings. Look down below what palings are. Ugh. The New York Herald reported, the body of one woman was found with several iron spikes driven entirely through it. Others crashed through the skylight into the room below, where they died on the cement floor. The 10th floor was the best place to be. Those who worked there, or reached it from the floor below, survived by dashing up the stairs to the roof. You're not going to believe this, but this is... When they arrived, they found the roof 15 feet lower than its Washington Place neighbor, a building shared by the New York University and the American Book Company. Luckily, Professor Frank Summer was teaching in his law class in a room that overlooked the Ash building, and when Summer realized what was happening, he led his class to the roof of the building. There they found 2 ladders left by painters during the week. Students lowered the ladders, climbed down, and helped the survivors to safety. For some women, said Sommer, it was necessary to beat out the flames that had caught their clothing, and many of them had blackened faces and singed hair and eyebrows. Yet only one person from the 10th floor died. Seeing flames licking up from the 9th floor, she panicked and jumped out the window. By 5:15 p.m., exactly 35 minutes after flames burst from beneath the cutting table, firefighters had brought the blaze under control. An hour later, Chief Croker made his inspection. He found that the Ash building had no damage to its structure. The walls were in good shape, so were the floors. It had passed the test. It was fireproof. The woodwork, furniture, cotton goods, and the people who worked in it were not. Of the 500 Triangle employees who reported for work that day, 146 died. Of these, 16 men were identified. The rest were women, or bodies and body parts listed as unidentified. The Triangle fire was New York's worst workplace disaster up to that time. Only the September 11th, 2001 terrorist attacks on the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center took more, about 2,500 lives. Chief Croker was no softy. He was used to the horrors that came with his job, but this was different. As he explored the top 3 floors of the Ash Building, he saw sights that utterly staggered him. The New York World reported, in the drifting smoke, he had seen bodies burned to bare bones, skeletons bending over sewing machines. Those sights sent him down to the street with quivering lips. The next morning, March 26th, Chief Croker returned for another look. The only creature he found alive were some half-drowned mice. He picked one up, stroked it gently, and put it in his pocket. The chief would take it home, he said. It's alive. At least it's alive.